Welcome back, everyone, to another hopefully informative video. It's after the holidays. Got a beautiful morning here in Sylva. Figured today we'd do something talking. It's a small thing, but it's a big issue, I feel like, for folks. Under wraps on the reel. So if you don't know what an under wrap is, I'm going to try to explain it. We actually took some B-roll footage because this reel that I have actually had one in it as I was just messing around with it before we started shooting the video. So Justin took some footage of it, a little better close up of it. Basically what an under wrap is when you leave your reel like this and you just reel it up, the small end of the tippet will sometimes, when it's in your your reel case, or even on your rod, if it's in the rod tube or wherever you kind of keep stuff, it'll work its way under the fly line or under the leader itself. And then as you start to pull it out, you'll feel it sometimes, if you get lucky, it'll grab because it's under. As you're pulling this piece, it's under a piece that's wrapped on the reel. And you'll feel it catch, and then you gotta like feed your line through and pull it out and everything. And if you get lucky, you catch it as you're stringing up your rod. But what happens most of the time, and people don't reel it, and this is exactly how this one was. It was all the way down to the knot where the leader and fly line meet. So if it would have jumped that knot, it would have just kept going down the fly line. What happens is when you pull the line out, that under wrap just keeps feeding down the line on the reel. It keeps wrapping into the reel, and it'll go all the way down to the backing if it's possible. And I know I've pulled people's reels apart where all they do is maybe small fish for small wild trout here in North Carolina, and so they never get more than maybe 20 feet of line out as they're fishing, but they need a new fly line. So we go to pull the fly line off, and I've had 7 or 8 wraps down in the fly line where people never even knew it was there. So it's not a big deal if you're fishing small fish. But if you're fishing, larger trout or bass, muskie, or even saltwater species, like some bonefish or permit or anything like that, if a fish starts to run and it hits that under wrap, sometimes it'll just keep pulling the under wrap deeper into the reel. But if it hits it just right, it's going to lock the reel up, and you're probably going to break the tippet and lose the fish. So it's actually kind of a big deal. That could have been the fish of a lifetime or your first bonefish or whatever it may be. But you don't want something simple like this to cause you to lose a fish just because it was an unknown thing that you had in your reel. So there's a super simple way to kind of keep that from happening. The one downside to it is you use a little bit of tippet to kind of keep that from going in your reel. But I'm going to show you how to do that. And basically, at the end of the day of fishing, you've cut your fly off, you're going to put your rod up, or if you keep your reel on your rod, or you put it in a reel case, or again, however you store your stuff. If you'll just go to Walmart or the drugstore or any place that sells, we're kind of lucky here, we get a bunch of rubber bands in shipping. Get yourself a bag of rubber bands and keep them in the back of your car or in your fishing bag or whatever you use. But just get you a half dozen or so would be fine. That'll get you by for a while. But you might just want to buy a bag of 100 rubber bands, and that'll probably get you by for years. So what you do, and I wish I knew who invented this. I don't even remember where I learned this, but I learned this years ago. So I wish I could give credit to whoever came up with this, because it's a super simple, brilliant idea. But basically all you do is you take this and you treat it almost like a big hook eye, and you just need to tie a simple knot in it, nothing fancy. You're just going to tie like an improved clinch. So you hang this on here just like you would your fly, feed it through. You can just do a clinch knot or an improved clinch, whatever your favorite thing is. I just usually do a clinch knot because, again, it doesn't have to be, we're not fighting fish here with it. So I got too much slack here to mess with. Get this tied for you real quick. And you don't even have to do 5 or 7 wraps. I do like 3 or 4. So now you just got a rubber band tied on there, right? And you don't have to worry about trimming it off or anything. So that's the little bit of tippet you're going to waste, because when you go to fish again, you're going to need to cut this off and then tie your fly on after you string your rod up or whatever. But then the simple thing is you just take this and loop it over the reel seat, and then you reel this bad boy up. Get your finger out of the way. And then that just sits in your reel case or on your fly rod if you got a tube where to hold the rod and the reel together. And the next time you go to fish, you just loosen that up, grab the rubber band, pull it right off the reel, and you can not have to worry about under wraps. There's actually another under wrap right there. I just felt it catch. So there's 2 under wraps in this reel that I didn't even know about. So that right there is a great example. If that was deeper into the reel and you had a fish on, you can see and the reel's not spinning. So obviously that tippet's going to break. So I got lucky when I pulled this reel out, Justin. I didn't realize it had underwraps in it. So anyway, super simple way to kind of keep that from happening, because that way the tippet will not underwrap on your reel. Super simple fix when you're standing at the back of your car done with a day of fishing. Do that to your reel. I know a lot of people keep their rods and reels strung up, but if you're traveling, like on an airplane and you're having to carry everything on for a destination, or you're making a long drive and you don't want to have your rods all through the center of the car, like if you got an SUV or you don't have a rod holder on top of your car, this is a good way to do it. So if you got any questions about this or any of the other videos we put up, give us a shout, 828-488-3333. Got the online store, check that out. All that good stuff, social media. Subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell. That helps us out, gives us a good opportunity to keep doing these videos for you. So appreciate everybody listening, watching the video, and hope to see you in the shop or on the water.